A very warm good evening to all of our history enthusiasts. It is once again a pleasure to have you all back. And today we are having the seventh paper presentation session of this international webinar on rewriting her story. We have with us today as a chairperson P. Siyamala ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Bharati Dasan Government College for Women, Pondicherry. Ma'am, it's an honor and pleasure to have you with us here today. I also welcome all our paper presenters and our viewers who have joined us in this session. And I now request Ms. Nidhi Katti, the Vice President of History Enthusiasts, to kindly introduce our chairperson very briefly.
Okay, thank you, Manali, for giving me this opportunity. As we already know, P. Siyamala ma'am is Assistant Professor at Department of English, Bharati Dasan Government College for Women, Pondicherry. Am I audible, Manali? There is no issue, right?
There's no issue, you can continue.
Okay. Uh, so, ma'am is working with Bharati Dasan Government College for Women, Pondicherry. She has 16 years of work experience. Currently, she is also pursuing her PhD in part-time at Kanchi Mamunivar Government Institute of Postgraduate Studies and Research, Pondicherry, and her research recent explorations are on South Asian writings, gender studies, and subaltern studies. She's an avid reader and inspired writer. She has contributed to UGC Careless journals, peer-reviewed journals, and her articles and poems were published in reputed anthologies and ISBN book chapters too. Her paper entitled Karna Diasporic Identity, Revisiting Karna in a Post-Colonial Perspective was published in Shodha Sanchara Bulletin, October to December 2020, ISSN with ISSN number. She has bagged the best paper of the session award for her paper, Geeta Hariharan's Have Become the Tide, a study in resistance and redemption of human spirit, presented at National Conference on Language, Literature, Culture and Marginality, a Global Perspective. So is a very wonderful researcher, and she has researched a lot on gender studies. So she's the perfect chairperson for particularly this paper presentation session. Thank you so much for ma'am for accepting our invitation for chairing this session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nidhi, once again for the intro. So since this is time bound, I think straight away we can give away the platform to our presenters. Then we will come back after the presentations.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. With the permission of the chairperson, I now request our first presenter, Dr. Tarang Kapoor, to present her paper on Standpoint Epistemology, a bridge between knowledge and practice.
Thank you, everyone here. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, perfectly.
So, I would like to first tell what I've done in this paper. It's a long work, and I have been teaching feminism and standpoint epistemology for a while now. So, I'll try to just briefly present some ideas here. So, our epistemological assumptions play a significant role in knowledge formation, and that's why we require epistemological interventions to access our methodological consideration. Coming from philosophy, epistemology is from where we move towards forming a method. In the feminist discourse, prior to the emergence of standpoint epistemology, academic texts were always considered to be authoritative. Hence, the authoritative voice of the text used to present the arguments in a commanding fashion. And these commands were then issued to the subject of research. Uh, in contrast to this kind of a positivistic epistemology, standpoint epistemology considers the situatedness and positionality of the researcher in the research question itself. And that is why I propose that standpoint epistemology is epistemology from the margins, that is the bottoms up approach. And this paper will approach the methodological question regarding identifying, determining, and defining a research question as a whole. I'd like to just share my screen. Is it visible, my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the fundamental questions I'm considering here are: is there a need for distinctive method and methodology of inquiry? And how will this new methodology shape the question of epistemology? Will new methodologies challenge or complement the traditional methodologies? And on what grounds would one defend the assumptions and procedures for a researcher over traditional ones? Sandra Harding, in a seminal essay on Is There a Feminist Method, talks about the three steps towards developing a feminist question. First is the method. The method is the technique or manner of proceeding adopted to gather evidence. Methodology is a theory of analysis of how research should proceed. So, based on what method we apply, is our methodology going to be formed. And methodology includes accounts of how the general structure of theory is applied in a particular instance. So, from theory, how we come to the practice. And epistemology, in this context, is of and of all to all of us our knowledge. Epistemology deals with the issues related to fundamental questions of theory of knowledge. So questions like who will be a knower, what is knowledge, can we consider that there is knowledge at all, what kinds of things can be known at all, what test beliefs must be put to. So whether we are talking about an opinion or a belief, and if we are talking about a belief, what test the belief has to go through so that that belief can be seen as knowledge. Because not everything is knowledge, that is very clear. And what will come in this domain of knowledge is what will be legitimately seen as knowledge. And the problem has been for a while that the gender issue clearly shows that the second half, the second gender, your feminist female gender, was not even legitimized as a knowledge subject. So this question is extremely important. Joyce Prague, in Feminist Epistemology, Methodology, and the Study of Gender, talks about the four kind of epistemological positions which have been doing the rounds traditionally: positivism, postmodernism, critical realism, and now the recent ones are the standpoint theory or epistemology. So it is very clear. I can take it up in questions if somebody has a question on this. That positivism and postmodernism have traditionally a lot of problems as methods. In fact, now in the recent discourse, contemporary discourses, we are looking forward to critical realism and standpoint theory. The critical realistic standpoint epistemology has four methodological principles because of which it is a better suitable approach. The first is it begins its inquiry from the standpoint of the marginalized sections of the society. It grounds each person's interpretation of phenomena in their material interests and experiences. So their own experiences are authentic and they matter. It provides them a kind of knowledge legitimacy. It maintains a strategically diverse discourse and it creates knowledge that empowers the disadvantaged gender in this case. Patricia Hill Collins, in her seminal paper on intersectionality's definitional dilemmas, talks about the importance of intersectionality to understand the critical insights about race, class, sexuality, ethnicity, nation, ability, and age. How do they operate not as unitary parameters or mutually exclusive entities, but they are actually reciprocating with each other. They are constructing the phenomena per se as we go along. And they are concepts which are intersectional in nature. Any understanding of intersectionality lies in its attentiveness to power relations and there's social inequalities. That's why she suggests that the intersectionality is an analytic strategy that provides new angles of vision on social phenomena and as a critical praxis that informs our social justice projects. And a lot has been written about intersectionality, but I just wanted to briefly talk about it. So I took that position here. Now, a very interesting picture I'm going to show you here. It's called the duck rabbit image, which is used by Ludwig Wittgenstein in his philosophical investigations. He talks about this example about how our seeing, depending on how we see as a particular thing, can completely change our perspective understanding about that particular phenomena. Here, when we look at this image in one instance, we can see this as a rabbit. And if I tell you, no, no, try to see it in another way, you'll say, oh, this, now I see it as a duck. This is no more a rabbit. And okay, now I see it as both. In the third step, it is a duck rabbit, maybe. So this brings out the difference between perception and interpretation. And this kind of an interpretation is important for us because remember, we are talking about shifting epistemology uh, and its foundations as a discourse. So Nivedita Menon, in a famous book, and it's a recent book about, and everybody knows about Professor Nivedita Menon, in Seeing Like a Feminist, raises a series of pertinent questions about how can family be a primary support as well as a family can be a patriarchal entity on its own, which can inhibit a woman's personal growth, and about the whole politics of being a personal agent and being a professional person and all of that. It attributes what kind of labor market we're talking about. Is there accessibility of resources? So these concepts are themselves intertwined, and they are intersectional, as we can see. And very famous quote of the person is political is very much true, and it can be seen even in the contemporary discourses. Now, my focus is on intersectionality of experience, so let me talk about it more. What is the question with which we are faced then? Can application of newly developed methodologies which take into account the actual experiences present us a complete picture and help us in developing undistorted accounts of gender, religious minorities, and underrepresented presented sections in the society? What kind of design we are going to put our research question through while we are identifying and determining and defining a research issue. Even to take up a research issue, what issue we are going to take, why did we even consider it as a research issue, uh, how did we identify it, and how did we interpret the data when we collected the data, what questionnaire we made, and then how did we interpret the data. All of these stages, the methods as I just spoke about, you know uh, they at times lack in analyzing the intersectionality of this versatile plural experience of a woman and her personal and professional struggles and spaces. And this is what we have to acknowledge. And that's why standpoint epistemology can do a good job here. What we have to first realize, and this is an important realization which Sandra Harding talks about, is that there is no universal category of researcher. We have to acknowledge that researchers belong to different cultures, genders, classes, and their experience, and most of the and researcher can come from anywhere. A researcher, we have to first talk about legitimacy of experiences. So we have to say that, okay, it's not necessary that it's a top down model, it is a bottoms up model. Understanding gender through bottoms up approach is what we are going to uh, argue for. So once we study from bottom up model and take the researcher as a real and historical agent, researcher who is placed in the critical plane as the research subject, and even the beliefs and behavior of the researcher must be placed within the frame of picture that the researcher attempts to paint, then we witness a shift in epistemology. So then we revisit the three central questions we spoke about, and then I will end my presentation. Who can be a knower? The first question. Whose experiences or observations can even count as knowledge? So insights from shifts in methodology can provide the marginalized sections as being seen as knowers and as authentic subjects who can claim their legitimacy as knowers. What kind of things are to be known? Even that is important. Can a feminine subject be even studied? Is it even legitimate to study a particular kind of a feminine issue? For example, the issue of menstruation. I want to highlight this all the more because in labor market there's hardly any acknowledgement of women menstruating. So should it be even question of a researcher? For the longest time we have seen, because this is an issue pertinent only to women, there is no research on this matter. Can subjective experiences constitute the edifice which we can even consider as knowledge, or we will just reject it saying that, oh, the feminine body is weak, that's why the feminine female is nagging? So whose experiences can we see as knowledge, what research methodology can play a role in constituting knowledge, and how to justify our beliefs. So I will end with this slide, and I think I have exceeded the time. I'm so sorry. If anybody has a question.
It's okay, ma'am. The paper was absolutely very interesting and very scholarly. So I request if any of the participants have any question to kindly unmute yourself and ask. Okay, if there are questions even later, they can keep it in the chat box and we can have them in the end.
Yes.
I now call upon the next participant uh, to present their paper. Madiha Ahmed Khan and Faiza Siddiqui. Uh, their paper is on Dr. Ruth Fau Messiha, Social Work in Modern Era. I request you to kindly present your paper, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Namaste and Assalamu alaikum. My name is Madiha Ahmed Khan. I'm working as an assistant professor at National College of Arts and head of Department Textile Design. And this is a collective research of me and Faiza Siddiqui. And she is working as an assistant manager in gems and jewelry and mining. So my screen is shared.
It's not visible yet.
Okay. I'm trying. I think. Is it now?
Yes, it is now visible.
Okay. Okay. Um, actually, this research was that that I just want to focus by this research on the social
Ma'am,
work in.
may I interrupt? Please put it on slideshow.
Is it on? Is it not on slideshow right now?
No, it's not.
Okay. Okay. Let me. Okay. Is it?
No, actually, I think you have shared a window. You
Okay.
just stop sharing and reshare it as entire screen.
Yes. Okay. 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 So
Maria, it's not being shared yet.
okay. I'm trying. It's not been shared yet. Sorry. I'm so sorry because of my eyesight. I have this issue.
It's
Um,
all right.
um, so is it shared now?
Not that I can see. No, it's not.
Can you see now?
No, it's not yet visible. Could Faiza share it?
Maria, I'm trying to.
Okay.
Actually, unfortunately, the internet connection in Pakistan nowadays is in trouble. I don't know if you're aware of the news or not. Pardon me for that. Let me try.
Okay.
Wait. Is there any other presentation
Yeah.
after us?
I think the screen is now on.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it okay?
we can see it. Yeah.
Madhya, are you
Okay.
successful?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm
No
really very
problem.
sorry.
It's all
So,
right.
Okay.
okay. So the screen is now shared. Okay.
Yeah.
So social work in a modern era, and we want to rewrite the story of Dr. Ruth Catherine Paul Massey. She is considered as uh, um, Mother Teresa in Pakistan. She was born in 1929 and was died in 2017. And 55 years of her age, she served in 55 years of her age. She served in Pakistan as an expert of leprosy. So I just want to start quickly. An increasing number of people need help and support with their lives. And social status crucial in modern society. Social work is an important profession which is very difficult to encapsulate. There are two main aspects of social practice that distinguish work from. The first is that social workers, by and large, quite they
I'm sorry here. I want to interrupt. Madiha, you're not audible. Is Madiha audible?
No,
Manali?
I was about to say the same thing.
Okay, okay. Let me go through the slides.
Yeah.
Madhya, Madhya, would you please, hello, please
hello.
stop reading. Let me
Okay.
go through the slides. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Let's begin with the introduction.
Okay.
An increasing number of people need help and support to cope with their lives, hence, social work practice plays a crucial role in modern society. Social work is an important occupation which is very difficult to encapsulate. There are two main aspects of social work practice that distinguish social work from most of other professions. The first is that social workers, by and large, do not provide a universal service, but they specialize in working with people who are in some way disadvantaged or excluded relative to the society as a whole. The second manner is in which social work differs from many other professions is that many of its service users are not service users by choice.
Uh,
This is,
could you go to the next slide?
I'm trying to actually, I don't know what's happening.
No, I think since Madiha is sharing it, I think she will have to change the slide.
Okay,
Okay.
Madhya, please change.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Perception of social. Yeah.
I can't see, I still see introductory slide.
Okay.
You just
Perception of.
scroll down, let me go through it, okay? Madhya, you
Okay.
just scroll down.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Slide number 4, please. Perception of social work. Perceptions of social work among the general public were largely positive. In the Omnibus survey, 88% of participants agreed that it is important in helping vulnerable people. 77% agreed that it helps ensure children come to no harm, and 74% agreed that the value of social work is not fully appreciated. Okay, our inspiration, Dr. Ruth for rewriting her story. This research is about an inspiring social worker who devoted her whole life for the noble cause, especially for the poor people affected by leprosy. Her tremendous efforts cannot be put into words. Dr. Ruth Faw, born in 1929 and died in the year 2017. She was a German born Pakistani physician and nun of Sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. She moved from Germany to Pakistan and devoted more than 50 years of her life fighting leprosy in Pakistan. Dr. Ruth Kaur is recognized in Pakistan and abroad as a distinguished human being and had been awarded many awards and medals. Madhya, please switch to slide number 5. Thank you. Slide number 5, Madhya. Not 6. Scroll back. Thanks. No, it's slide number 5, Madhya. Dr.
Um, yeah,
Again, Madhya, slide number 5. Sorry for disruption, guys.
yeah,
It's all
I
right.
think this,
Yeah, this is the
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Okay. Let's stick to this, please. Don't move your cursor.
yeah.
Dr. Faw contributed in establishing 157 leprosy clinics across Pakistan, which treated over 56,780 people. She collected funds and with donation from Germany and Pakistan, and in 1968 she managed to convince the government of Pakistan to start a national leprosy control program in cooperation with the Mary Adelaide Leprosy Center (MALC) and set up clinics all over the country. Due to her tireless effort and great courage, Pakistan was declared leprosy free by the World Health Organization in 1996. Dr. Ruth wrote 4 books in German about her contribution in Pakistan. In 1987, her book To Light a Candle, and in another book, she expressed her intention of never retiring. She said, I don't use the word retirement. It sounds as if you had completed everything, as if life was over and the world was in order. Dr. Faw had played a dynamic role in removing the stigma attached to the healing of leprosy patients. She had enabled hundreds of thousands of people to live with dignity. Her death is a great loss not only for Pakistan but for the whole world, as she was a symbol of humanity and harmony between people of different religions. Madhya, please switch to slide number 7. Okay. Celebrity impact on social work as a stance of show off or for real. We all love celebrities because of the inspiration they give to people. Some people think celebrities can play a very important role in our society because of their popularity and influence by becoming the voice of humanitarian causes such as poverty, injustice, education, and many others that positively affect people around the world. Stakeholders in developing world unwittingly rely on the celebrity humanitarian as their communicator, advocate, and fundraiser. Finally, celebrities are held to self-serving, engaging in social causes to boost their careers. Though some celebrities are sincerely making an impact in the world by doing charity work, like Elton John, working for AIDS, Oprah Winfrey, Taylor Swift, Salman Khan, George Clooney, Angelina Jolie, and so on. Madiha, did you switch the slide? Hello?
Yeah.
I was still on the previous slide, Madiha.
Really? Now, I switched
Actually,
the slide.
sorry to interrupt.
Yes. The
The time
previous
is
one,
about
please.
to be over. Could you just
Okay.
conclude in a minute?
Uh, the previous
First
one
one.
again. 6. Slide number 6. Okay.
Poverty.
Poverty graph level is going up day by day, and only few organizations are helping in real. Now switch the slide, please, Madhya. Social work nowadays is being neglected. People are not willing to contribute voluntarily, as with the fast moving life and upgradation of technology, humans are becoming more materialistic and desire to earn money by any means. A social work has often been described as a thankless job, long hours, tough cases, low pay. One often cares so deeply for that one person who is being served. It puts one's own well being in jeopardy. Social work can be a demanding profession. It requires working with people with diverse needs. The profession deserves more respect and understanding. The celebrity approach to a social work cause tends to produce more of an ego response rather than a deep moral response, resulting a kind of contradictory stage performance of look at me, raising voice or helping out. Instead of raising awareness, it invariably makes the story all about the familiar celebrity self. So, please.
Yeah, could I interrupt here? I request
Yeah.
you to kindly conclude within the next 1 minute.
Okay. So we can
Okay.
go towards the message.
Okay. Jump. Yes. Message: encourage people to provide their services for free to the humanity, as there is no greater joy nor greater reward than to make a fundamental difference in someone's life. There is no greater joy nor. Dr. Ruth Paul had played a dynamic role in removing the stigma attached to the healing of leprosy patients. She had enabled hundreds of thousands of people to live with dignity. Humanity is suffering as its world needs such dedicated and loyal human beings without the desire of self profile raising work for social causes, not only at present but for the times to come. Actually, this is our message. Should I repeat it? Humanity is suffering, and this world needs such dedicated and loyal human beings without the desire of self profile raising to work for social causes, not only at present but for the times to come. Guys, I'm so sorry for
Yeah.
the whatever you call it,
Yeah.
disruption. Pardon
Yeah.
us, pardon us.
No. It's
Yeah.
all.
Because my
It's
mic was on, my computer was all set, but I don't know what happened suddenly.
No, it
Okay.
happens. This is all part of the technical world, and we totally understand when something like this happens. There's
Thank
no
you
need
for
to
your
apologize.
understanding. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And
Yeah.
thank you for this wonderful paper and for introducing Dr. Ruth Faur to us. Because even though we are neighbors, we have not heard much of her. The Mother Teresa is very, very famous throughout the world.
Yes.
But we
Yeah.
need to
She is
hear more.
Pakistani Mother Teresa, Dr. Ruth Faur.
Yes, so we needed to hear about her. Thank you so much for bringing her to light. Thank you so much. If anybody
Pleasure,
has,
pleasure.
yes, if anybody has any questions, I can only one question because we are running out of time. Okay, I think at the moment there are no questions. We can go to the next presenter. Thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for bearing us.
No,
Yeah.
no,
You're
Sorry.
that's totally
extremely
Sorry
fine.
for the
sorry
last moment
for
problem.
inconvenience. Extremely sorry.
Yeah.
It's totally
Yeah.
fine, totally fine. The next presenter, I now request Soumya Verma to kindly present your paper on forced conversions and minority women in Pakistan and analysis of Islamic agenda.
So, good evening, everyone. I am Soumya Verma. I am a postgraduate student at Jawaharlal Nehru University. So, the topic of my paper is Forced Conversion and Minority Women in Pakistan and Analysis of Islamic Agenda. So, this paper will analyze the factors behind the incident which follow a similar story that a Hindu or a Christian girl went to a school or market but didn't return to her home, and suddenly, after a few days, her family discovers that she has accepted Islam and married to a Muslim man, and once her conversion has taken place, it is impossible for her to return to her former faith, as the process of conversion to Islam is one way, because changing from Islam means denying Prophet Muhammad. Apostasy in Pakistan is an illegal act under the blasphemy laws. And also, similarly, there are other provisions as well in the system which protect these perpetrators. So, the major focus of my paper is to analyze the factors which give free hand to these perpetrators that they themselves involved in such crime. It will try to identify the nexus between the legal system, judicial system, administrative system, as well as the societal setup of Pakistan, which leads to such crimes, as well as aggravates the situation for both women and girls and her family. It will try to unravel the hidden motivation behind this conversion factory. So, the forced conversion following the forced marriage forces women to undergo emotional, psychological, and sexual abuse as it is done without consent. This crime denies access to various rights, even to basic human rights. This crime is whitewashed by the entire mechanism of Pakistan's state on paper and international forums, which project them as being secular and protectors of minorities. So the entire politico-administrative system legitimizes the oppression against minorities in Pakistan. So when such incidents happen, the first stage is FIR registration stage. But the victim family faces obstacle in this very first stage, because the police, the entire system of police are actually derived from the society, so they themselves are influenced by the dominant ideology, which is orthodox Islamic patriarchal society. There is a tacit agreement between police and local elites to turn blind eye to each other excesses. Now, when we come to second stage, which involves courts, but they serve the process of delivering injustice to victims' family. They choose to ignore constitutional provision, which is supposed to be the fundamental law of the country, and place Islamic Sharia above that. There is misapplication of personal law, which makes the departure from the standard dispensation of criminal justice. Again, the judicial system to succumb to the religious and feudal elite. Even after having a Western parliamentary system, which has the culture of debate and discussion, the lawmakers are legislating exclusive policy which involves exclusion, and are failing to come in support of anti-conversion law. So the Sindh Criminal Law Protection of Minorities Bill 2015 was approved by the Sindh Assembly with a unanimous vote, making forced conversion illegal. But as a result of oppression from hardline Muslim organization, the measure was never implemented. So the lawmakers make laws before analyzing whether it is fulfilling the interest of the religion of majority community. So they basically focus on vote bank politics more than the basic human rights should be delivered to the minority women of the country. So the legacy of colonialism has definitely given access to Western education, which forms an elite society in Pakistan. So these elite claims adherence to liberal values, but this actually provides cover to deeply orthodox and feudal undercurrents of Pakistani society. It can be easily gauged by the distortion of fact in the media over which they have stronghold. So basically, the conversions are being portrayed as a romantic affair, but in reality, a very dark side is associated with it. Even the Islamic clerics performing the marriage have no intention of looking at the type of conversion of or the girl's age. They don't question the conversion circumstances and will accept information without question, and they issue certificate to which acts as a proof for both police and courts to excuse violations and grant bail to the perpetrators. So we need to understand very carefully that how the whole system works. Police, courts, clerics, media, they don't perform their task well. They are under the influence directly or indirectly under the pressure of religious extremist and Islamist ideology, and they in fact work to cover to hide the nexus of conversion. On international forums, they claim to the signatories of universal human rights, propagators of human rights. Even Imran Khan, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, referred to forced conversion as un-Islamic in 2019. Khan also mandated a case-by-case investigation of incidents of young girls being coerced into joining minority groups. However, his acts raised doubts about the genuineness of his earlier deeds. Khan has been outspoken in his opposition to legislation that would prohibit forced conversion, calling such measures anti-Islamic and assuring clerics that he will thwart such measures anytime they're introduced. The Prime Minister fulfilled his word and stopped the crucial bill opposing forced conversion in October 2021. So we need to understand that the extremist and conservative Islamist ideology doesn't allow the people from other faiths to survive in their state. Hence, for the reason, the liberal parliamentary system speaking about human rights on international forums and nexus in the politico-administrative system, media, clerics, and society is so made to cover up their hidden agendas. The marginalization of in Pakistan has reached its zenith. There have been a lot of cases against minorities across the country who have been the victim of subjugation and violence. Now it's urgently needed to protect and prevent the recurrence of such events. The government of Pakistan and international forums should take action to stop the radicalization and extremism that are growing in their society. So I end my paper here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Soumya. If any of the participants have any questions, I request them to kindly unmute yourself and ask.
Manali, hi. Am I audible there?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, so this is just an observation that we have participants from the neighboring country and also researchers from our own country who are researching on the neighboring country. So this shows, the vivid imagery, or if I were to say that how people are interconnected with each other. So I think this is a boost for our relationship for the both of the countries. Thank you, Soumya, for this wonderful presentation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yes, thank you for the observation, Shams. Moving on to the next presentation, uh, I request is Mrs. Ashwini Javalimat here. I request you to kindly present your paper on perfection, not a tax women have to pay to be admired. Mrs. Ashwini Javalimat. I guess she is not present. So let's move on to the next presentation by Dr. Brotati De, Ecofeminism Interpreting Her Story.
Good evening, all of you.
Good
May
evening.
I audio?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, okay. Manali, kindly you share my slide.
Yes, ma'am. Nidhi, are you there? Nidhi will be taking care of the slides because I'm
Okay,
currently
okay, okay,
handling the live streaming.
okay.
Nidhi?
Okay, I will try, huh? Okay.
You try, ma'am. I will also try calling Nidhi.
Yes, Manali, I'm here.
Okay.
Could you please share ma'am's PPT?
No. Are you just visible my slide? I already shared it.
We cannot see the presentation, ma'am. We are only seeing the this one. Could you stop sharing and reshare it as entire screen?
Acha.
I can share, ma'am, if you want me to. I think you have shared the PPT with me, I guess.
I had sent it to you, Nidhi.
Yes. I'll share it, ma'am. No problem.
Okay, okay. So good evening, everybody, and obviously thank you to all of you. It's a really huge and tough job you have done. So I would like to convey to my gratitude everyone, those who are attached here for this platform. Now I am starting that my lecture is related to ecofeminism. I will show my screen.
I hope, ma'am, it's visible to you. I have shared the screen.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, ma'am. Are you able to see it, ma'am? Is it visible to you?
Nidhi, it's not yet visible. Yeah, I think now it's visible, yes.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, put it on slideshow.
Sure.
You can continue, ma'am.
Okay. So this lecture, that is ecofeminism and obviously her story. So this section is divided into two parts. One part is dealing with what is ecofeminism is, the
Ma'am, we cannot hear you. Please unmute yourself, ma'am.
okay.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
okay.
The sound.
Okay, may I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible now.
Okay. So I have told you that this lecture is obviously it is a ecofeminism and history of her story. So it has totally two division. One part is dealing with the concept of ecofeminism. What is ecofeminism? definition, concept, and the theory behind it. And another part that is focused into the portion that next slide, Nidhi.
Ma'am, you are not audible to us.
Yes. Hello, everybody. May I audible? Hello.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Now you are audible.
Okay. Now, first I have focused on the what is ecofeminist. Ecofeminism is that is a social critique. The second slide one. The second slide.
Ma'am, please continue.
Second slide.
Ma'am, it's on the second slide itself. Are you able to see it?
No.
Ma'am, the screen is shared.
Acha. Okay.
Just, I'm on the second slide itself.
Okay, all of you are, I mean to say audible, na? May I audible, na?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, so I proceed. Okay, so the concept of ecofeminism that is, I mean to say, related with directly, that is, women and nature are intrinsically linked. And ecofeminism claims that the domination of women and of nature are, that is, both are linked and overlapping each other. Now, another theoretical expert from material ecofeminist is particular focus on the material condition of women's lives, locating the source of this twin domination.
Ma'am, you are not audible. Ma'am, are you there? Ma'am, you are not audible to us.
She is in the stream but not audible.
Yeah. Okay, we will wait for 1 minute. If ma'am wants some time to recheck her network.
Yeah, she's gone off screen.
Okay, we can do one thing. We can continue with the next presenter, and when ma'am comes back, we can take her presentation, I guess.
Let's wait for a minute if because that will break the flow of.
Okay, sure.
Let me call her.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am. You have gone offline. Yes, ma'am. You have exited the meeting. Please kindly join back. Yeah, she will be joining. She didn't. She was not aware that she has exited.
Okay.
But we are running very late for the next session.
Yes. Shall we move to the next participant, please?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Let's take the next presenter,
Sure.
Mr. Dundappa YB.
He has not joined Manali.
Okay.
He will not be presenting, he informed me.
Okay. So is Suma KG present?
So,
No.
okay, Jin. No, I guess he's
So
not
now
here.
I request the last presenter of this session, Muhammad Shams Khan, to present your paper on Professor Shad Banu Ahmed, the Iron Lady of Aligarh Muslim University.
Am I audible there?
E- yes, you are.
Thank you so much, Miss Manali, and the entire the history enthusiasts for giving us this opportunity. And I think I was on this project of writing something about the only woman proctor of Aligarh Muslim University since last 2 years. And I was looking for a platform where I can write her story. And I think through you, I have got that platform. I when it was like when I was in my school days here at Aligarh Muslim University, I happened to go in the proctor's office. And there, in a huge array of 43 proctors, there was one lady. And I was so astounded to know that there was a woman in the university who, who ruled for maintaining the law and order for complete 3 years. She completed her tenure. And in the time when the women, let alone rare, it was found inappropriate for women to hold positions, and that to administrative positions. So it made me wonderstruck as to how and why this woman made to the post of the proctor of the university. And you see, at times, Aligarh Muslim University is placed in hot waters when it comes to its treatment to women. But let me tell you that it was only in 2012 that one of our counterparts, Banaras Hindu University, appointed its lady proctor, and then it was followed by Lucknow University's lady proctor in 2017. So I think in this case that where the woman who at the post of proctor, which is third in line to the vice chancellor, was given to a woman who completed it for entirety. So let me begin my paper with as I feel honored and humbled to bring forth a figure in the form of this in this presentation, a figure who has been at many firsts during her stay at the Aligarh Muslim University, a woman who showed nerves of steel in words of Times of India, a woman who steered the law and order of the century-old university for over 3 complete years, a woman who never made any student miss her lecture, even when she had to handle 4 different administrative positions simultaneously, when none of which offered a moment of relief. A woman who stood against all odds when rationale and rationality was under threat, be it any person in power or anybody else. We have heard the phrase man of principles, but this woman redefined it as woman of principles. Her unwavering commitment to education, excellence, and principled leadership made her earn an eminent position in the history of Aligarh Muslim University. A popular professor and an able administrator, the name of Professor Shad Banu Ahmed barely needs any introduction in Chamane Sayyid. Professor Shad Banu Ahmed is a retired professor of sociology and social work from Aligarh Muslim University. Her arrival at Aligarh dates back to 1969, when she was appointed as the first woman faculty of sociology on 1st September 1969. At that time, the newly established Department of Sociology had only 2 lecturers, Mrs. Shad Banu Ahmed and Mr. Abdul Halim Siddiqui. Both worked in consolidation of the department, taking care of classes, introduction of courses, curriculum developments, so on and so forth. She was also the first faculty of sociology at Women's College, Aligarh Muslim University, when the course was introduced in 1980s. It was since that Professor Shad Banu Ahmed dedicated, or to say, devoted her next 36 years of life to the Aligarh Muslim University. After her retirement from AMU in 2005, she joined as a professor in the Department of Sociology at Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad, and then she went on to join Carleton University, Ontario, Canada in 2013 and 2015, where she took classes of in learning in retirement program. Talking about her administrative abilities, it was in 1997 when Professor Shad Banu Ahmed went to Hyderabad and she was an invited speaker there at All India Sociological Conference. She had a vision to bring back this conference to Aligarh, and she toiled for a year. And then in 1998, All India Sociological Conference was held at Aligarh Muslim University, where we talked about minority women and their socialization. And till date, she stands as the only teacher in the Department of Sociology who was able to hold and organize this conference. However, this didn't please many, and she has to face, internal politics of the department. And this is the sad thing which is there in every university, in every department, whether it is India or the neighboring countries. And I say that Professor Shad Banu Ahmed was a woman who never let her spirit down, who never let the spirit of her students down. She served as the provost of Sarojini Naidu Hall for a period of 6 complete years. And during that time, she is credited to erect many new hostels for nursing girls from 1982 to 1988. Then she stands as the only woman, not the only teacher, the first teacher member in charge of Aligarh Muslim University Guest House. She held the position for 7 years from 1983 to 1990. She is also accredited to have erected the university canteen, which is now the Moinuddin Ahmed Art Gallery of the university from 1986 to 1990. And one of the most jolting news in Aligarh and the adjoining areas was on September 16, 1996, when the then Vice Chancellor Mahmoodur Rahman IAS, he just to accept the post of proctorship, and she did. But it was soon after, when she was appointed as the proctor, a food poisoning incident happened in the university. It was in August 1996 or September 1996. I'm unable to recall it properly, where a student died in police fighting. So it was a very tough job, because then in the university there was a huge roar and ruckus created by the student leaders, and everybody was against. So the first and foremost thing that Professor Shad Banu did was to gain the confidence of the 8 to 9 inspectors who were there in the team, and she also had to make a 550 people in the security forces that Aligarh Muslim University has in form of the proctor team. At that time, and I should mention it very clearly, that at that time when the university was under turmoil, the Vice Chancellor Lodge was burnt, the Pro Vice Chancellor Lodge was burnt, Registrar had to be vacated from the university, and Professor Shad Banu Ahmed was the first woman who took over the charge as the acting Vice Chancellor for a period of 6 months. And she stands as the only woman to have graced the office of the Vice Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University when there was no one around, and she was in contact with the Vice Chancellor over phone. Another important aspect of Professor Shad Banu's personality was her helping hand towards the people, those who are in dire need. And I can recall one anecdote when one of the clerks in the Department of Sociology met an accident and died on spot. So her wife was denied job in the department because she didn't know how to ride a bicycle, as the job involved passing on the files from office to office. It was Professor Shad Banu who made that lady buy a bicycle and made her have classes how to ride a bicycle, so that the woman might not be declined of the job she deserved in compensation to her husband. But she also faced, because the then chairperson was reluctant to fulfill this demand. He had someone from his close circle whom he find would be able to do honors with the job. But this didn't happen. Another important aspect of Professor Shad Banu is her handling with the students. Despite of so many responsibilities, nobody can complain that she missed a single class, a single lecture, despite of having responsibilities. And I should say that the period from 1983 to 1987 was a period where this lady, Professor Shad Banu Ahmed, had 4 different administrative positions, as I mentioned it earlier, where she had to run to and fro for the sake of the work done. Another important thing which made people take her name so frequently and with happiness is when in 1991 there was no teacher for +2 students, for class 11th and 12th students, for the subject sociology. It was Professor Shad Bano who volunteered, and this was at the time when no other professor, the professors found it not worthy for their position to go and teach in a school of the university, but it was this lady who volunteered. And why am I saying so eloquently about her? Because it has been 100 years. A book was written on Aligarh Muslim University and the women who contributed in making Aligarh Muslim University what it is at present. But we cannot find any mention of Professor Shad Banu Ahmed. So I would just like to conclude with the presentation. If I able to, I would like to make you people see the things. Just a moment. I'll just open the presentation and I'll let you people see this wonderful lady whom I adore. Um, just a moment, I'm sorry. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this is just a small photograph that I could procure. This is in 1993. Professor Shad Banu Ahmed could be seen sitting in the middle in grey sari, and she was the one who headed the department at 3 occasions, from 84 to 86, then from 95 to 97, and then from 99 to 2001. This is in 2000 when she organized the international symposium in the department. She could be seen in a blue and white sari. This was around the time when she was about to retire. This is
The slides are not
Your
moving.
slides are not changing. Yes.
You should share it as entire screen.
okay. Just a minute. I'm sorry. I'll just check the thing once again.
Yeah. No
Entire
issues.
screen. Sure. Okay. It's visible.
Yeah, just go to the slides.
Uh, Select the PPTtions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Make it slide share.
Okay. You are on mute now.
Audible now?
Yes, you're audible now.
I'm so sorry for things. This is a difference between human and technology.
Yeah, that's fine.
Uh,
Okay.
the screen is not
Just a
visible.
moment.
Please reshare it.
It is shared. You can just go to the PPT and conclude it.
Okay, sure. I'll just go. Just a minute. There is this thing coming up. Mm.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm visible now. My entire screen is visible. Is
Yeah.
it? And my voice is too. Okay. Am I audible, Manali?
Yes, you are audible, but where is the PPT?
PPT is it not showing?
It is just
No.
showing that you have entered, that you have shared the screen, but the PPT itself is not visible.
Huh.
Okay. Um. Okay.
Just exit and reshare if you want. That can be done. You
Stop
can
sharing
reshare.
and then reshare.
Reshare, no problem. You can take a minute
Okay.
and do that.
Actually, the thing is, I am not that tech savvy. There is this thing. Um, Just a moment.
Okay, there's an option called screen share. You enter full screen or entire screen, share entire screen, and then
Now select the PPT.
yeah,
Is it now visible?
nothing is
No.
visible.
No. Okay.
You can do one thing if you want. You can share it to our WhatsApp. We
Ah,
will.
sure, I'll do it happily. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, just a moment. This
Uh,
is.
so
Okay. I
can I
think Manali, I
please
think you
continue?
might have seen.
Yes, yes,
I just wanted to show you Professor Shadbanu Ahmed. That's it, and I
yeah,
think the purpose has been solved.
yes,
And
we
I
have
should
seen.
move forward, and I'll conclude in 1 minute.
Okay.
The thing is, why people and if you'll come to Aligarh Muslim University, I invite all of you to come here and do visit. And if you'll ask about Professor Shadbanu Ahmed, you won't find anybody talking bad about her. Okay. And if anybody talks, he or she could be a professor in the Department of Sociology who might not have been that much qualified, or who might have some personal issues with the lady. But you see, it was she joined the department in 1969, and soon after she got admission as a teacher candidate. She had her education from the United States of America, from Pittsburgh, Chatham College in Pittsburgh. Then she came here as a teacher candidate, and from 1982 to 1987, she traveled around the world extensively. She went to Mexico, Austria, Netherlands, Holland, Sweden, Australia, even Fiji, and South Africa for various presentations, and which made other people in the department have displeasure. Why? Because this is a human tendency. When a person progresses, and when a woman progresses in presence of the male counterparts, I am too as male as others are, but as far as my feminine spirit is concerned, I am totally with it. So I do not, as far as Professor Shadbanu was concerned, now it was in 1976. This is the tragedy, I should say, that in 1976, when a selection committee was set up for a promotion of this, for promotion from lecturer to professor, she was given a halt, and a person who was 5 years junior was made 10 years senior to this Professor Shadbanu Ahmed, and he managed to be the chairperson for around 15 years or 20 years in the department. But you see, whenever there was any functionary in any university authority coming to the Department of Sociology or Faculty of Social Sciences or Arts, it was the name of Professor Shadbanu Ahmed who was on the tongue. And why this is so? This is because of her value, like I should say. She, as far as the students are concerned, Professor Azra Musbi is there, Dr. Samina is there, they are chairpersons of the respective departments. I'm concluding, Manali. Okay, so there is just one mantra that they said to me when I was inquiring about Professor Shadbanu Ahmed, and that was, in her words, do not let your spirit down, take your stance, be vocal at the local level, at the international level, wherever you find an opportunity, and have courage to stand on a stance and till the end. So this was the persona Professor Shadbanu Ahmed had, and this is what I feel I should work on her values and things she has taught all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shams, for bringing her to light for the rest of India. Uh, and it is still not, there's still not a lot of change. When we see the higher positions in most of the universities in the country, and even political positions, women are still far behind in numbers. And I think that should change, and that will change in the future. I now request the chairperson of this session, ma'am, to please give her remarks.
Can I just take 1 second?
Sure.
Shams, it was really a wonderful presentation. I appreciate your effort because I was not aware about ma'am. So thank you so much for introducing her in this webinar. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. I request the chairperson to give her remarks.
Yes, first of all, I thank all the paper presenters because the title is well justified, Women and Social Institutions, and they covered almost all the topics that are to be discussed. So today, in the current situation. So to start with, it was a very good start, especially this bottom-up approach and intersectionality by Dr. Taran Kapoor and the methodology. And introducing Sandra Harding's theories or terms like positivism. So that was a very good start. And same compliments I would attribute to the paper of Mohammed Shams and Dr. Paper on Dr. Bujwa by Madiha and Faiza, if I'm pronouncing it right. So it is really, very inspiring, and to do social work or to take social institutions, it is lot of hindrances or invisible impediments would be there. So, and I would say, Muhammad Sham's paper, his words flow like a river, which shows, how much you are instilled, so how much he has inspired you. Because to get a name like Mother Teresa of Pakistan or Iron Lady, so it is not very easy. So for a woman, there is a tightrope of walk when we start from domesticity to any other, if we move to any other social institution. So that was very good, and in fact, it's instilling. And these two personalities would be great inspiration. So they will inspire us in the days to come, I hope. And next, moving to Soumya Verma's paper on conversion and minority. That was a very forceful articulation. She expressed her opinions and facts so strongly, and the echoing of this term minority women, it also echoed in me this word doubly marginalization, or what they call doubly marginalized. So in some countries or region, it is community. In India, we have this divisions like caste. So even one of our resource persons book, Gendering Caste, I think it's Uma Chakravarti's book. So that can be read to understand, how there are these kind of not bottom feelings. Okay, these kind of templates are common. Okay, so you can try this text, Gendering Caste by Uma Chakravarti. I think she was one of our resource persons in the first day or second day. And Brati, she started well, maybe due to some technical snag. That is a problem that we couldn't hear the complete paper. So again, so to wind up or to conclude my speech, I would say, so these say social institutions are universal, and they also resist to change. But we also see how our papers evince out that there is metamorphosis, but it all depends, okay, according to our community, culture, or the other social institutions or subdivisions in it. Okay, and I enjoy listening to all the papers. Thank you so much. Thank you, Niti, and thank you, Manali, for this opportunity. It's really a privilege to me to be here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your all inclusive remarks and for being part of this session with us today here. It was really an honor to have you, and thank you for chairing this session. I take this opportunity to also thank all the presenters who have presented so well, and for giving us so many new perspectives on the lives of women, not only in India but also in the neighboring countries. It was really a wonderful experience. Now we are going to jump into the next session. We are not going to end this meeting. So I request all the participants to stay tuned because we are already quite late for the next session, and our resource person has already joined us. Good evening, ma'am.